All right, good afternoon, everybody. My name is Matt Largent, President and CEO of Williamson Inc. We're Williamson County's Chamber of Commerce and Office of Economic Development, and welcome to the highest attended ever State of the County address in our 12-year history. Rogers really knows how to draw a crowd. Thank you, Rogers. It's my pleasure to welcome to the stage County Mayor Rogers Anderson's son, Ryan Anderson. He's the associate pastor at Covenant Presbyterian Church. He's going to give the invocation and then remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance led by some very special people, Mary Anderson's grandkids. So, Ryan?
Thank you. It's a real treat to be here today to pray for this and for our meal. And Lord knows that if you know my dad, he needs it a lot too. So it's a treat to be with y'all. If you're willing, will you pray with me? Our Father in heaven, thank you for this day. Thank you for your grace and your kindness to each of us. Thank you for Williamson Inc. Thank you for the government of our county. Thank you for the different businesses and entities represented here today to make Williamson County such a great place to live. We thank you for the food that we get to share together, and we pray for the program today. We pray that new friendships would be made, new partnerships could be made, and they could be celebrated for the years that they've existed. We thank you for your hand on our county for the last year. And we thank you that today could be one step in moving forward to make Williamson County a better place for work and for play and for the flourishing of its residents, for all of its residents, O Lord. Bless us, we pray. We pray this through Christ's name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you. All right, Travis, you ready? Okay.
Say the Pledge of Allegiance now. Ready? All right. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thanks.
Thank you. Very cool. Thank you. That's fantastic. I want to take a minute to thank our presenting sponsor, Williamson Health, for putting on this program today and introduce their CEO, Phil Mazuka, to say a few words, followed by a video. Phil?
So thank you, Matt, for everything you do, your team, the members do for the benefit of this community. It's pretty incredible. And thank you to all of the elected officials, community leaders, and volunteers that make this place a great place to live and work in a place we all love. My name is Phil Mazuka. I'm the CEO of Williamson Health. We are so proud to be an economic investor and corporate member of Williamson Inc. and a sponsor of so many incredible Williamson Inc. events throughout the year, especially this highly anticipated State of the County address. As your local health system, our mission is simple. We exist to meet the healthcare needs of this community. It's a very special and rapidly growing community, as we all know. It's our team's collective why. It's a commitment we don't take lightly and always strive to improve. When I joined Williamson Health a little over 3 years ago, I immediately recognized what a special place it was. And the talented and incredibly compassionate staff, amazing group of 680 physician providers covering 60 specialties and subspecialties. But on top of that, we're a special place because the patients who become a part of the Williamson Health family, and because of the community leaders who support us and partner with us to ensure we're able to fulfill our mission of caring for Williamson County residents. Many of you in this room today are avid supporters, and I personally thank each and every one of you. I also saw the need the need to help Williamson County residents fully understand how special this place is and the high quality care they can receive in their own community without needing to go to Nashville. We realized that one opportunity to do this was by the way of upgrading our hospital facilities that were largely very outdated, so that the quality of our environment could match the quality of the care being provided. This was when we announced our historic expansion and renovation of our West Tower project you'll hear more about in a minute. We also have continued to expand our ability to provide enhanced services and access throughout the county. This is by the way of new physician clinics, outpatient services, and EMS stations throughout all of Williamson County communities, much like the beautiful new Spring Hill project that we opened this past May, offering primary care, specialty care, orthopedic care, imaging services, and lab services. Our commitment is to continue finding ways like this that we can provide high-quality care and improved access to the residents of Williamson County. Finally, we've also gone through a rebrand last year, launching our new Williamson Health parent brand to better reflect the regional health system we've become with more than 30 different locations throughout the county, including Williamson Medical Center, Bone and Joint Institute of Tennessee, the Turner DeGauw Breast Health Center, 18 rapid response EMS units that do about 22,000 runs a year in our community, multiple physician clinics, urgent care clinics, and so much more. So thank you to each of you and every one of you for your continued support of Williamson Health and the many different ways we're working hard to fulfill our mission of caring for this community. I want to conclude by showing a video that recaps our West Tower grand opening that we had last month. This project is truly transformational and has Williamson Medical Center and Williamson Health well positioned for the future. This project demonstrates our commitment to keep growing along with the community. And I promise our drive to elevate excellence for the community won't stop here. Thank you. You've heard the phrase elevating excellence, and I can't think of two better words to describe what we've done here at Williamson Health.
This is so nice.
This day and everything that's happened is probably the absolute biggest honor that, well, besides having my children, and I had them both here. It means so much to my family, and this is our home. This is our home hospital.
This project is for all of our friends, family members, and neighbors. We added 3 new floors on top of what was the original West Tower, plus a new north wing of the West Tower that encompasses all 6 floors for a total of nearly 175,000 new square feet, taking us from 203 beds to 337 beds.
These new rooms, like all of the new rooms in the hospital, are brand new, they're large, they're spacious, they're modern, they're technologically equipped in a way that we've never been able to do before.
We have gained much needed space, such as an expanded waiting room, additional treatment rooms, and dedicated spaces for family consultations.
Childbirth is a beautiful experience, but the unknowns can also be scary. You want your labor and postpartum rooms to be as calming and as accommodating as possible, and that's exactly what we've created here at Williamson Medical Center.
I'm going to tell you, this is what we really needed to boost ourselves. We love to give quality care, and this is an opportunity for us to have a place to provide that, elevate our care to a higher level of excellence.
I personally have delivered 2 babies here at Williamson as well, and I've also utilized the emergency department for my kids. So I know how valuable it is to have a facility like this that provides outstanding care minutes from my house.
Probably heard our motto around here lately is more for you close to home. Our mission really is to treat the people of Williamson County here so they don't have to go to Nashville or elsewhere.
Caroline and I are just honored to be a part of this. We're honored to have developed even more friendships. Caroline has really worked a lot on this, and she's worked with some amazing people.
Thanks so much, Phil, and thanks so much for the team at Williamson Health for everything you do, not just for us, but the entire community and really the region. We really appreciate it, and what a great event you had last month. It was fantastic. Well done, well organized, and so important for the future of healthcare and the future of the economy for Williamson County. So thank you, Phil. I appreciate that. As a partner organization in Williamson County with an annual contract to provide economic development services, I want to spend just a few minutes to talk about the impact we've had as an organization in the community last year. At your seats, you should have seen one of these statements, a community impact statement of all the work that we did in the community over the last year. And I'm not going to go through every one of the bullet points, but I do just want to point to a couple things that I think are really important about the work we do. And I think the first thing is this notion of where community meets opportunity and how important a sense of belonging is to this community and how this really differentiates us from other places across the country. Quality of place, quality of life becomes so important as people decide where to invest and raise their family in the community, and that's really part of what we do. We connect community with opportunity, and that's important through a lot of the different networking events we do, the professional development that we've done over the last year. But what I've learned over the past couple of years is that everybody defines success and opportunity in a different way. It could be employees in our leadership program that bring back valuable skills to their organizations. It could be people learning how to start a business through our Startup Academy we did last year, both in English and in Spanish. It could be finding a new donor through our quarterly nonprofit roundtables, really important for nonprofits in our community. And it could be launching a business, as one of our 85 companies that had ribbon cuttings last year did in this community. Nearly 1,400 businesses, 114 nonprofits, employing over 14,000 people is part of the community we create right here in Williamson County. And at the end of the day, it's about jobs. That's the work that we do every day. We support and attract good-paying jobs that provide meaning and purpose for our friends, family, and neighbor through small and large businesses alike. In fact, our team led the way in Tennessee in the last year and announced more companies adding jobs through relocations and expansions than any county in the state. Number one in the state. It's a big, big deal. And even more important than that, you can see over 75% of those were companies that were already here. Those announcements are driven by our workforce, and our workforce is driven by our public schools. And nobody exemplifies that like one of our amazing students, Anthony Beckett. Anthony, are you here? All right, Anthony, please join me on stage. He is a recent graduate. Thank you. He's a recent graduate of Brentwood High and a student in the Entrepreneur and Innovation Center program, and I want to bring him here for a very special recognition. Anthony's dad, Matthew, is here as well. Before I do that, I want to show a short video.
Tonight is going to receive $13,000, and I will say before we begin applause, there are several other of the judges who would like to consider investing personally in this company, and that is Markify. Yeah.
Paula Chilton was very excited about that. As you can see, is Anthony on the stage. All right, I could explain this, but I'd rather have Anthony. Anthony, what did we just watch?
Yeah, so that was right after I won $13,000 after pitching my business, Markify. And to give you a very brief synopsis, I'd love to hold you here all day and tell you about it, but give you a very brief overview. Essentially, it's a collaborative whiteboard tool for teachers that helps make learning more accessible and collaborative in the classroom. And so I'd built that over the past 2 years in high school, and at the end of my high school career, this past senior year, I was able to go and pitch that last week. And so it was a good send-off of senior year graduating and then going and pitching in front of over 100 amazing teachers and professionals. There were over 60 teams that submitted, and that got narrowed down to 5. I was one of the 5 that was able to go down to Chicago, or I guess up, and present Markify there, and I winded up winning, and it was an absolutely amazing experience.
That's great. That's so great, Anthony. That's fantastic. Hold on. We're so impressed with the work you do, so impressed. And I want to recognize the educators from the IC that are here today. Please stand so we can recognize you in this great program we have for our community. Thank you. Paula, Jeremy, I know you're there. There you are. Thanks so much. We appreciate that. We had the opportunity to take Anthony with us to South by South this year, Nathan Zipper did. He had a chance to pitch at the Tennessee House. He was the only student invited to do the pitch. That was fantastic. And what you just won, it was 5 different countries, I understand, 600 people that have submitted initially. I mean, this was a big, big deal, right?
Yeah. So this was a
You're underselling it.
Yeah. It was a very big deal, and this was a national competition. And so this was people all across the United States, along with multiple countries, like you mentioned. And so this was a very big event, and I was kind of fortunate because not only was this an entrepreneur pitch, right, for investing, but it was also education focused, and I'm an education business. So not only was I able to get that money, but I was able to potentially get some new customers, some new users from it. And so it was an amazing event, and like you mentioned, I went to South by Southwest earlier this year, got to go to the Tennessee House. Who was there? Anyone here there?
Nathan,
Come on.
yeah.
There.
Yeah.
And so that was amazing. And I just want to real quickly say, too, that as great as the EIC is, and it's an amazing thing, all of you in here who have volunteered to help students like me come in and do it, it wouldn't be possible. I would not have been there last week if it wasn't for the amazing mentors that went to the EIC, that are involved with Williamson Inc., that were able to help me. I'm a technical person. I'm a coder. And so I went from just being a coder to that business leader in just a year, and it was thanks to the amazing mentors and the amazing people in here. So if you ever get an opportunity to help a student, please do. Thank you.
Anthony, thanks, man. That's fantastic. Great job. Great job. That's really cool. That's great. You've got to feel good about the future of this community with people like Anthony. And it's important to note, too, we were a big part of the founding of the EIC. We take trips every couple years. We took one to Austin and Denver to see what other schools are doing around the entrepreneur program. We actually went to a high school in Denver that had a business inside the school, and it served the community and it served the students. And so we're really excited to be part of this EIC journey. And best of luck, Anthony, on your personal economic development journey. And please consider locating your headquarters in Williamson County when the time comes. So I want to continue today's program by continuing to focus on the future of our community and introduce the Youth Leadership Brentwood and Leadership Franklin Scholarship Award. So please, I'd like to, Tom McLaughlin, the Leadership Brentwood Alumni Association Board Chair, and Julian Bibb, the Board Chair of Leadership Franklin, and the scholarship recipients to join me on the stage now. Good to see you. I've got a script there. Okay. Up to you.
Thank you, Matt. It's an honor to be here with you today. Each year, the Williamson County Chamber Foundation, the Leadership Brentwood Alumni Association, and Youth Leadership present 2 scholarships to 2 outstanding Williamson County students. Also, let's see, Leadership Franklin presents a scholarship to a high school senior or a college student who resides in Williamson County.
Tom, thank you. Applicants for these scholarships represent the very top leaders and academic scholars throughout Williamson County. They are the cream of the crop.
Our first Youth Leadership Brentwood Scholarship winner is Elise Froller. She went to Brentwood High School. Elise will be attending Cornell University this fall. And in addition to her incredible academic achievements, she has founded the Thames Ford Clean Water Project. That's an environmental service group. She worked as an ACT tutor to help other students and has made time to be a volunteer at the John P. Holt Brentwood Library. And Elise's mom's Holly is here with us to celebrate her accomplishments. And we also have John Beck. And John, we always put ladies first. So John is a Ravenwood High School graduate. He's going to be attending Auburn University this fall. In addition to John's academic success during his high school career, John has participated as vice president of the Young Men's Service League, the Williamson County chapter of that. He's a fierce lacrosse player, and he's self-employed as an odd jobs next door type contractor, so he stays busy all the time. John's parents, Adam and Holly, are here today to help celebrate his accomplishments.
The Leadership Franklin Scholarship Program started out as one of our class projects in 2009, and it contributes $1,500 a year to a high school senior or a college student who lives in Williamson County. To date, Leadership Franklin has given $22,500 toward higher education. This year's recipient is Chad Ryder. Chad is the son of Lewis and Jennifer Ryder, who are here. He's a 2024 graduate of Fred J. Page High School. Chad was co-salutatorian of his class. He is an Eagle Scout, an AP Scholar Award recipient, a College Board National Commended Scholar, and was a member of the Page High School Band. Chad will be attending the University of Tennessee this fall. Chad, congratulations. At this time, I'd like each student to share what major they are planning to pursue at their college. And so if you all will step up one by one and tell us. Thank you.
I think I'm getting it right. My name is John Beck. I'm going to Auburn next year, and right now I'm planning on majoring in pre-business, so not too sure finance or whatever, but business, that's my goal.
My name is Elise, and I'm going to Cornell University, and I plan on studying neurobiology on a pre-med track.
My name is Chad Ryder. I'm attending the University of Tennessee, Knoxville, and I'm going to be studying biological sciences, also on a pre-med track.
One thing I omitted that I should have mentioned is since 2002, we have awarded or distributed $120,300 in scholarships to the great people and youth of Brentwood, and we're really proud of that. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me one more time in showing your appreciation for the accomplishments of these outstanding Williamson County people.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you. Great. Thanks so much. I always enjoy that part of the program. It's fantastic. Now it's my pleasure to introduce Laura Anderson Howard, to introduce her father, Mayor Rogers Anderson.
It's my pleasure to introduce today's speaker, my dad, Rogers Anderson. He was born in 1948 in Oak Ridge, Tennessee. His dad worked at the Oak Ridge National Laboratory, and his mom worked as a school secretary for Farragut Schools. He graduated from Farragut High School in 1966. He joined the U.S. Air Force in 1968, where he served in Africa and Vietnam. After serving in the military, he went to UT Knoxville on the GI Bill. In the early days of his career, he worked in the import and export business as well as at Tennessee School for the Deaf. In 1975, he joined the private insurance sector and was relocated to Franklin, Tennessee in 1980. He served as a county commissioner from 1986 to 2002. He was vice chairman of the county commission for 8 years and chairman of the county commission for 4 years. In September of 2002, he was elected as Williamson County's mayor. He is currently serving his 6th term as Williamson County's mayor. He has spent countless hours in meetings, served an endless amount of time on various boards and associations. He has attended hundreds of pancake breakfasts, ice cream socials, spaghetti suppers, fish fries, purple whole pea parties, fundraisers, and other charitable events. He's done it all with integrity, dedication, and character. Yet Dad's greatest commitment has been to his faith and family. When I asked the grandkids what do they think of when they think of Papaw, they said cast iron skillets, cornbread, his garden, homegrown peeled tomatoes, Western movies, fried okra, socks hanging to dry in his bathroom tub, dog treats, loving hugs, and squishy apples. When I asked his grandkids, what's your favorite thing about Papaw? They said he's witty, kind-hearted, funny, a practical joker. He makes time for us, and he never forgets a birthday. He is so many amazing things. He is loving and kind. He is a servant leader and a loyal friend. He is steady, dependable, slow to react, quick to listen. He isn't perfect, but he points us to the one who is perfect. And because of his faith, he lives a life of humility, believes firmly that we are not to boast, and loves generously. Welcome, our dad.
Well, with that kind of introduction and the recipients of the scholarship, congratulations. And to all of the people being here today, thank you very much. I want to begin because I am a veteran. If you're a veteran in the office, in the audience, would you please stand so we can give you due recognition? If you're a veteran, please stand. Thank you for standing. Thank you for serving our country. And to Williamson Inc., thanks for the opportunity once again to do the annual State of the County, reflecting on our present, our past, and our future. In preparing for today, I found that the first chamber in the county was organized in 1954. I'm willing to venture a guess that there's no one here today that has been a chamber member longer than our beloved Nancy Conway. Nancy is here. She actually started working for the chamber in 1980. What a wonderful tribute she has given us. Thank you, Nancy, for your leadership and support. Since the formation of our county in 1799, community-minded citizens have been elected to office to oversee the operation of governmental activities. Today, we continue to have the privilege and the opportunity to elect community-minded citizens who are willing to give back by placing their name on the ballots for elections. There are a number of you here today that are asking the elected people are asking the registered voters to go vote. If you're in the audience, you're an elected official or representing someone, would you please stand so we can say thank you to your service? In October of this year, we'll celebrate 225 years of our anniversary for establishing Williamson County. This started in 1799, and the county seat was to be Franklin. There have been many changes in the county since that time, and I want to look at some of those as we journey today. The early minutes books of our quarterly court have been archived, and the earliest books that we still have in the county clerk's office began in 1990. In the minutes of the quarterly court of October the 1st, 1900, the county judge was Mr. F.C. Russell, and there were 46 justices. Justices were later known as magistrates, and today they're known as county commissioners. The first county commission district under the new Tennessee Constitution, there were 25 in number, and they were based on a total county population, voting population of 3,000 people. Today we have 12 voting districts, 24 elected county commissioners, and 2 from each of the voting areas. According to the Review Appeals 1986 homecoming article, the first county court clerk was N.B. Hardeman. In June of this year, Miss Elaine Anderson, who served as county clerk from 1998 to 2021, celebrated, you ready for this, 57 years in public service. She'd worked for Casey Jones, Charlie Fox Jr. before serving as county clerk for over 23 years herself. Though she's still working part-time, Mrs. Anderson has been succeeded in office by her grandson, Jeff Whidbey. During this past fiscal year, 2023-24, the clerk's office staff had nearly 285,000 motor vehicle transactions that were either conducted in person, through kiosks, or the new drive-through in the parking lot at the administrative complex. I encourage you to use these avenues. Actually, there's more car tags in the county than there are people. First Circuit Court Judge of Williamson County was Thomas Stewart. The Circuit Court was authorized by an act of the Tennessee legislators in 1809. Today's Circuit Court Clerk, Debbie Barrett, and her staff provide court services to 4 Circuit Court judges for the 21st Judicial Court District. The first lawyer before the court was Alfred Balch, B-A-L-C-H. Today, there are 1,635, and I think 1,634 of them come through our office all the time, practicing attorneys in Williamson County, according to the Tennessee Board of Professional Responsibility. I want to read some things. You're not going to be able to see it probably real clear in the back on the screen, but the county's original courthouse, built in 1800, stood in the center of the square, and when slated for demolition with a new one to be built in the current location, the November 30th, 1855 newspaper read, quote, "Passing away, the old courthouse, which for some time has been a reproach to the pride of the county and an eyesore to every person that is of taste, is about to undergo the process of demolition. The enterprising commissioners who were appointed by the county clerk commenced on Wednesday late the work of taking away the window blinds, the sashes, preparation to the veracity onslaught until it's next week. The work will be thoroughly done, and the miserable old pen will soon be numbered among the things that were but are not. So mote it be. If the concern which stands in close proximity to it and has been christened the Market House is not very soon removed by public authority, we would not be surprised if the B-boys take the matter in their hand and cause it to follow in the footsteps of the courthouse." Kind of sounds like they're around today, don't they? Since this was written, the chief glory of the venerable building has been removed. It came down on Wednesday afternoon with a perfect smash along the jubilant shouts of a happy set of citizens we've ever heard, ever shouted on any occasion. The work will now go bravely on, and soon not one stone will be left untouched where the old fabric so long reared its antiquated head. So, after that, a new courthouse was built on the Market Square location in 1858, and it still stands today. The 30-foot antebellum columns were styled at an iron factory located on the banks of the Harpeth River in Franklin, and a cast ore that was mined in the Fernvale region of the county. The Fernvale community, and I hope you know where that's at, was the home of the county's first hotel. It was a luxurious hotel, but it burned in 1906 and is never reopened. The minutes reflect that the first sheriff of Williamson County was Edmund Halls, and we have 7 jails since 1800. Bridge Street has been the location of 5 of those jails, ironically located in the most residential district of downtown Franklin, which is now our historical district. In the quarterly court minutes, records reflect that the way we operate today in the bidding process, I jumped ahead. The minutes reflect identically in the manner, the bidding process was reflected in 1900. We still use a lot of those similar trades today. There was a committee appointed to investigate and make a report to regards to the building of a new county jail. They reported that it was not practical to remodel so as to conform to the conditions necessary for a model jail, security, proper sanitation condition, and so to classify the prisoners. The report goes on to read that they had secured bids and plans submitted by Southern Steel Company of San Antonio, the Pauley Company of San Antonio, which they were carefully examined, but they did note the Pauley plans were not, the plans themselves were not at hand, owing, we believe, to a miscarriage of the mail. Seemed like the mail didn't get there on time. The minutes state that the specifics for the jail were 2 stories. The lower floor to be 2 rooms and a hall in front for the jailer and a compartment for female prisoners and the juvenile prisoners with a kitchen. The upstairs would be 32 cells, 7 by 7 by 7, and could be expanded by adding to the second tier up to 52. The committee noted the probable cost, we think, for the building, the sales, and the sewage, not including the furniture, the steam pipes, will not exceed $8,500. The report concluded, and then I'll quit reading, but it's interesting if you like history. Your committee would most earnestly urge upon the court the necessity of taking steps in this direction. The old jail is neither secure nor sanitized, nor does it allow proper classification. In no particular does it comply with the requirements of the statute of the law or our duty as the civilized people to the unfortunate, ferocious as they may be, who are incarcerated in these dungeons. The remainder of the process was to give proper notice, take competitive bids, and reviewing it to the contracts of the lowest bid. Although our own current budget laws didn't change until 1957, we still do competitive bids, we still do those ads, and a payment process very similar. 1971, the 6th jail was constructed and has since been torn down by the adjacent property to the old jail. Today, the building has been restored and renovated and serves as the home of the Heritage Foundation. This preservation effort, like so many others in our community, was made possible with donations, not tax dollars, from some very kind and generous donors. This facility served the county until the 7th jail, John I. Easley Jail, was constructed on an industrial area in Franklin. The current jail opened in 1989 and it cost $5.3 million. The late Captain Easley served many years in the sheriff's office. Through his friendly demeanor and outgoing personality, Captain Easley helped establish neighborhood watch programs before they were the thing. He knew his neighbors, and your neighbors, and your neighbors' neighbors. He built a rapport among his peers and the people he just met, establishing a trust that likens that of today's deputies. Captain Easley was an icon for the county sheriff's office. So many of his colleagues who later served in various ranks and filed position, including serving as our sheriff and different police chiefs. Today, Jeff Hughes and his law enforcement team are reviewing plans, and they're working toward the county commission's approval for the construction of the county's 8th jail. It will be required to meet an entirely new set of standards and state standards, federal standards, removing of the juvenile area, and which is currently being housed under the same roof. With today's standards and construction costs, it's estimated to cost approximately $189 million. And it's the ongoing discussion of the juvenile, the judge, and the judicial center. The Heritage Foundation on 1980 played a monumental historical role in saving our downtown Franklin, implementing the streetscape program to help beautify downtown Franklin and establish our main streets into the tourist mecca it is today. Mary Pish, Rudy Jordan, Ed Silver were instrumental in establishing these monumental tasks and seeing it to fruition. Today, they establish together, they establish relationships for public and private partnerships that laid the foundation for many of the programs and the economic tourism that exist in our county today. That partnership required the business, the private, the government entities to pay their fair and equitable share for the improvements based on their respective Main Street road frontage. As you drive or walk along the Main Street today, we enjoy those results of the partnership programs and its success for improving property. Tourism is Williamson County ranks number 6 in the state this year and is one of only 6 counties to surpass $1 billion in direct visitor spending. That's estimated to save each of us $1,522 last year just on our tax bills. The importance of building relationships and collaborations cannot be stressed enough, no matter the task at hand. In 2000, the state legislators put into place a process and a plan for counties and cities to work together to establish and to designate what we call the growth area throughout our county. These respective cities and towns, together with other members of the Growth Plan Coordinating Committee, have been meeting and working diligently to update the 24-year-old plan. It's a countywide urban growth plan boundaries. In recent weeks, just as late as 2 weeks ago, after much of the public meetings, numerous public inputs, different committees meeting, the growth plan was passed for our county, and you will begin to see all of that roll out over the next few weeks. This collaboration was a give and take among the cities. The committee members represented the importance and the success of the ability to work together, not only among ourselves, but all that we represent. I want to thank all of the mayors, the members of the Growth Planning Committee, and the city leadership for teaming up at different times throughout a 2-year window, going with a positive attitude for partnerships and having success. The unanimous approval by each of these municipalities of the plans represent a significant milestone in the future of our government entities. So for the last 20 years, I'll go off script. For the last 20 years, since 1999-2000, all of the cities grew within an area just outside their city limits oftentimes. And in those early days, those landowners that owned land that were zoned to be in the urban growth boundaries really didn't have a lot of say. But the cities grew and the counties worked through these problems. Today, that's not the way it is. This county is one of the few counties across the state that took on that journey, that took on that challenge to say, this is how we want to grow. And we'll file that in Nashville. Hopefully, we'll be able to grow when the cities need to grow. And all of this is about planning for our schools, planning for our areas. The first school superintendent was Miss Lucy Hume. She was also the first female superintendent. She was followed by, don't know if it's Mr. or Mrs. Smith House. Mr. Fred Page served 41 years. That's where Page High School gets its name. W.P. Scales, that's where Brentwood Elementary School. And Claude Yates, which used to be over next to the Franklin High School. These were all men who served as superintendent. In 1922, 102 years ago, according to the records, we had 10,000 students in 99 different schools. After that was Mr. Milton Lillard. He served from 68 to 76. Ken Fleming, many of you in this room would remember him, served from 1976 to 89. Rebecca Holt Schwab was elected in 1989 as the second female superintendent and served to 1996. At that time, the school board began hiring positions as non-elected. So in 1996, we went away from elected positions to an appointed position put on by the school board. After that, Dr. Terry Greer, Dallas Johnson, Rebecca Schwab Sharber this time, all fell in line, and they were all succeeded by Dr. Mike Looney, and eventually Jason Golden began serving in 2019. Jason Golden has 12 school board members he has to report to, 52 schools, 42,231 children. When I was visiting here in the late 70s, it was easy for me to notice what decades of visionary leadership had been doing for this community. I noticed and enjoyed what I saw so much that I moved my family here in 1980. And began getting involved in the grassroots community of volunteers through the Grassland Athletics Association. As neighbors and parents, we began to build ball fields for our children, our neighbors' children, and their friends at school. But we built more than ball fields. We built networks, we built partnerships, we built friendships, many of which remain today. By being involved, I learned that Williamson County school system, though it was good, was struggling to garner funding support through the county commission. By way of the grassroots effort of like-minded residents, we were able to demonstrate to the county commission the need for new schools construction to meet the needs of a growing community. 88, we opened 4 new schools. Then Bethesda, Lipscomb, Trinity, and Walnut Grove. Today, the Board of Commissioners remain committed to funding public education. You will see on the screen, this is the latest county commission. That commitment is reflected in the $1.09 of the total $1.88 tax rate being earmarked for the school budget operation. For the current year, the county commission approved the budget and a corresponding tax rate resulting in a no property tax increase for the county. I'd like to thank some of those county commissioners that led that effort, particularly on the budget committee: Brian Clifford, Drew Torres, Paul Webb, and Chaz Morton. Thank you for your leadership, gentlemen. Of the total budget, $853 million budget this year, $575 million of the budget goes back to school operations. If you can see the slide, you will notice in 1987, when my daughter said I came on board, the total expenditures that year were $40 million. 58% of that money went to schools, 41% went to the operations of everything else. Fast forward down to 2025, $853 million number. Schools are getting $575, which is 67% of the budget. The rest of the county is being operated on 32. As many of you know, I've said it almost every year that I've stood up here, the county commission has to pay for the debt of the schools. It's not like you and I, we buy a house, we borrow money, we have to pay that note back. In government, the government borrows the money, the county commissions has to pay that money back for the schools. That's the way the law reads. If you put that money on top of what we've got, our schools are receiving 73.88% of the money. 26% of it goes for all other operations in the county. So how does that compare back to 1900? Let's stay on our historical. You can think of on terms of looking at this, that in 1901 quarterly court, they said they were doing some charges for taxation. If you can read that, it says 30 cents on every $100 will go towards paying for the indebtedness. We're doing 26 cents. So 100 years later, we're still balancing those books, keeping things in perspective. I don't think all the tables have them, but on some of the tables, we have a state comptroller's overview of Williamson County, of our financial health, the financial trends, the budget. If you have a chance to look at those, you have questions, ask me or ask any of the county commissioners here, and you will see how we're faring out. There's the chart on the board, as you will see. We have $100 million of cash on hand, 299 days worth of funding, thanks to Phoebe, my great budget director over there. Government debt, $1 billion. You hear a lot about it. The press talks about it. We've got a lot of county commissioners talk about it. But you can also see what the comptroller says. This is our assessed value. We're going to talk about that in a little bit more. 6% goes. They have no concern. They like to see everybody below 8. And then you can see the financial trends over the years in the bottom graph. Thank you, Diane. What the report does not include is that as a result of the strong financial picture, Williamson County continues to retrain its AAA bond rating by Moody's. That is so important. That's our credit score. Like everyone has a credit score. You can see from the property assessor, Brad Coleman. This is an interesting chart. I know I'm running out of time. I'll speed it up a little, but I wanted to point this out to you since 2002. Total assessed value, percent of change, the county tax rate. The assessed value is that number. It's the total value in Williamson County of all properties. If you're a residential owner, you have a 25% tax of your property. If your business is somewhere around 40, and if your utility companies, it's a little bit different. But the bottom line in 2003 was $4 billion worth of assessed values. This does not count churches, does not count those places that do not have a tax, a valuation of tax. Scroll down to 2024, $19 billion is what we've got. We're growing at a rate from 2020. Just look at those numbers, how it's growing. Those are billion-dollar values that are going up by people moving into our community. Brad Coleman, our property assessor, says we have 101 parcels of real property now, 14,000 personal property accounts, and over 373,000 acres. In addition to costs associated with operating the jail and the sheriff's Sheriff's Office, 26%, as we talked about, goes to the operations of everything else that we have except the landfill. The county owns and operates the landfill. The landfill has a projected life expectancy of 15 years with an expansion project in the landfill that we're doing currently that will extend the life of the landfill another up to 50 years. As part of the expansion process included the need for good clay. We use clay to cover our landfills, to create a barrier there. We feel like that with the purchase of you screen that up, Diane, the red that you see around that is 547 acres that we just recently purchased. We'll take the dirt to cover our landfill, rebuild it, restock it, and that'll carry us out for years to come. It was a wise move on the county commissioner's part to purchase that so we're not so dependent on everyone else around. One of the other things we're doing in the landfill, kind of tough to talk about this after a fine meal, but one of the things we are doing, we're trying this in the grassland area. We bought an auger. We put it down into the plastic bins. When you recycle, we crush that, we bury it, we pack it. That saves us 50% of the trips just on that location. We'll be doing that at other locations as soon as we can. Think of it as a compression rather than just hauling trucks with a lot of air back and forth. We're also coming up with ways, maybe this young lady going to Cornell, or I hate to give Auburn any credit because I'm such a UT fan, but maybe you can find a solution. We're doing out in the, sorry about that. Oh, you made me lose my spot. But anyway, we're taking a lot of waste products out at the landfill, taking those out. We're also looking at some evaporation processes for our leachate to eliminate and save about $700,000 in treatment fees. I do want to touch on public safety. Got a whole table full of public safety, fire. Would you guys stand just to hold the bars? Sheriffs, come on, stand. Firefighter. These are the men and women that protect us here in the county. The city has theirs. We're just as proud of them. We have a new director. Connor, would you please stand? We're introducing Connor today. He's been with us about 6 weeks. Connor Scott. Parks and Rec, touch on that quickly. I'll move on. Our leadership team under Gordon Hampton. 6 main recreation facilities, 4 indoor athletic facilities, 3 nature parks in Timberland, Wilkins Park, Peacock Hill. I want to get back to Peacock Hill. 21 outdoor parks, specialty areas like the soccer complex, Castle Park, Pike Park, and 2 performing venues now. 245 acres is Peacock Hill. If you haven't been out to see this, it's on the screen. It's out on Giles Hill Road out in College Grove. Take your family, take your children. Enjoy a good hike. It is gorgeous up there on the top of that. If you don't like to hike, go to the libraries. Historical records indicated that Mrs. Sarah Ophelia Cannon loved a good book, and in 1974 became a life member of the Friends of the Library System for Williamson County. You may know her as Miss Minnie Pearl. 1983 to 93, a genealogy center for the county's library was created and included over 100,000 families and hundreds of rare genealogy books. With a $14,000 grant, African American genealogy collection was established with the assistance of Thelma Battle. This collection has grown to unbelievable sites, and people all over the United States are calling in online pulling off all kinds of material. Last year, the County Commission approved a part-time grant position. We contracted with Beth Lothers, and she's been busy and successful. On the county's behalf, she's worked diligently pursuing grant application for all types, knowing that Williamson County will often have points deducted off the top during the grant review because we're a Tier 1 county. I don't know if you knew it, Williamson County is the only Tier 1 county in the state of Tennessee, according to the state guidelines and bylaws. So oftentimes we get a reduction in the amount of money we get because we have that ability to pay. To date, here's what Beth has done. She's received over $1 million in competitive grants, and we have millions of dollars waiting and pending in the review process. Last year I mentioned that we had a goal to become the best well-connected county in the state. Through a partnership with Middle Tennessee Electric, United Communications, and ARPA, I'm excited to say we've made a difference for our residents. Communities that were previously underserved or underserved are now getting a target of an additional 8,000 addresses in the county. The outreach will result in connectivity for 26,000 homes and businesses by early 2025. Thank you, guys. Well, we're a growing community. In 1900, at 26,000 people. These are census data. 1970, we had 34,000 people. 1996, under a special census, we had 97,000. Today, we have 241,000, according to the census. We have about 260,000 estimated. You're here because of what has been and continues to be a 225-year of history of establishing a place to worship, live, work, and raise a family. Not forget the importance and value to our quality of life, having a local award-winning hospital and medical facility. As you have seen and heard Phil's comments and from this table, we're very proud of Williamson Health. They've done an outstanding job. They need our support. All health care is local. We have other, Vanderbilt, St. Thomas, HCA, all fine institutions. But Williamson is your hospital. It's been around since 1955, 56. Having this state-of-the-art health care and emergency service is vital for our community. Wrapping it up, so many of our younger residents were born and raised, some of our older residents were born and raised here. Some of us moved here because we liked what we saw from the outside looking in. As long-term and lifelong residents, sometimes we fail to see the forest for the trees. We live in a county with great schools, excellent law enforcement, parks, other quality of life, as well as great property values and low tax rate. Because we have successful businesses, if you'll notice on the chart, once again, we're the lowest in the state on unemployment. Because we have successful business, both large and small, we continue to grow, enjoy the lowest unemployment rate in the state of Tennessee. It's about jobs. It is about jobs for us and our children. This didn't just happen overnight. They happened involved over decades of visionary elected leadership. They happened because men and women with varying ideas and varying likes and dislikes, they sat down, they had conversations together. They worked together. They compromised. But they all worked for the good of the people. I want to encourage all of us to pause from time to time and reflect and be proud of the leadership that's here in this county. all levels, past and present, who've helped us evolve throughout the past 225 years, what I believe is the absolute best county in the state of Tennessee. Well, back around to the milestones of 225 years, I encourage you to go to the website of the CVB, Convention Visitors Bureau, and see what all is being planned between now and October and the end of the year. We also have a Williamson County Fair. Starts a week from Friday. We need some help from volunteers to work in the little ones farming. A lot of you are volunteer. There is no greater joy than to see the smiles on the little ones' faces as they do the rides, see the animals, particularly the small children when they're going out crying and mom and dad are worn out and they're worn out. But what a wonderful experience to see that. It's 20 years in the making, this fair, 20 years. Finish it up. I'm finished. I'm blessed to have been mentored by a lot of people before me. I've had the opportunity to work in this county for a long time as mayor. I thank you. I'm blessed to be an American. I'm blessed to be a Williamson County resident. May God continue to bless all of you as He blesses our county in these difficult times that we're in. Thank you for being here.
Thanks so much, Mayor Anderson. We're so lucky to have him as mayor and leading this community in such a thoughtful way. Really appreciate him and all the leadership in the community. It takes everybody. So thank you so much, Rogers. I appreciate that. Just a couple things before we finish. August is a very busy month for us organizationally. So if you enjoyed today, there's a whole lot of other ways to plug into this organization over the coming months. We've got a young professional luncheon next week on the 24th. We are launching a small business academy on August 9th. We actually have a pretty well-known author that's going to kick off How to Turn Your Customers into Lifelong Advocates, creating superfans that'll be in their office on the 9th. BizFest, which is our largest expo and networking event of the year, will be on August 21st. Limited booth space remain. That'll be at the factory in Franklin. And then finally, we have the Women's Leadership Conference, August 29th. I also want to remind people as well, it is election season. So if you haven't, go vote. Early voting now, election day is August 1st. We have created a great website, williamsonchamber.com/vote. You can look at our archive Meet the Candidate series. Tom Lawrence did interviews with everybody running for office. You know who to vote for and what to vote for. And also, we've got information on different polling locations that are open. So please, please, please go out and vote. I know we're running behind where we were 2 years ago, so just make sure you vote and encourage your friends to vote as well. And before we leave, we actually have 2 door prizes to give away. So I'm going to invite Guy with G Catering and Diane, the Chief of Staff for the Mayor's Office, to come and do the door prizes. Diane and Guy.
So this prize is 2 admission tickets and 20 ride tickets to the Williamson County Fair. Go to Courtney Bach with Lattimore Black, Morgan & Kane. Is she here? She here? Courtney, are you here? Okay, see me afterwards.
Okay, great.
Hello, I'm Guy Haskins. I'm the owner of G Catering, and we have been in business in Williamson County, Davidson County, Rutherford County. We've been in Middle Tennessee for 17 years. Come on up here, you two. These 2 lovely business ladies behind me are Rebecca Broadus and Kelly Cabry. Rebecca and Kelly acquired Mint Springs Farm a year and a half ago, and I have partnered with them for the past 8 years, and they continue in producing professional and gracious events. They've done close to 900 events since it was in its inception in 2012. we're giving away a December giveaway. And that giveaway is a full event for 50 people. It includes everything at Mint Springs for tables, chairs, the event venue, lighting, parking. And G Catering is going to give you a meal, $50 per person, full alcoholic bar at $25 per person, all the staff, and all of the rentals. So the winner, you can have that for up to 50 people. If your company wins or something like that and you want a larger event, then we'll work on the difference between the 50 and however many you have. So that is a value of $11,000. So we just thank you for your support of G Catering and Mint Springs Farms. We love Williamson County, and we thank you very much. So if one of you will go ahead.
Okay, the lucky winner is Chris Pangalo from Oakworth Capital Bank.
Is Chris still here? Oh, it's 11 grand. Oh, he's back there. Okay, he is here. All right, there you go.
So Chris, if you would stop by the booth, our booth out there, we'll give you a full packet explaining everything that you have, and we'll start the planning for your December event. Thank you very much.
Right. And if anybody wants to do door prizes for future events, remember $11,000 is what we recommend, or tickets to the fair, either one. Anyway, thanks everybody else for being here. I greatly appreciate it. Make sure you visit some of the booths that are here on your way out. And thank you for your continued investment in our community through your investment in Williamson. Have a great rest of the day.